Yo guys, Kazner here, back at you again. What's another video? And this one's kind of a quick one, but I just wanted to simply sit here and talk about how we as people need to achieve our goals and kind of how I push myself to do that and how you could push yourself. And it's all just really the state of wanting to create and less consumerism. And this might sound a bit, I might ramble a bit in this video and it might be hard to explain this, but the real thing is that we all have goals, we all have ambitions, right? Some of us want to be content creators, some of us want to, get that job we always wanted, or, improve better at the game, right? Be a better gamer, right? And I think the simple thing is that we can all dream about this and stuff, but we are all too heavily consumers, right? It's so much easier to be a consumer than to be a creator, right? It's just far easier to pull up YouTube or TikTok or whatever doom scroll app you use and just mindlessly scroll and watch other people create these cool things and videos and talk about how great their life is rather than doing it yourself. And it could be scary, and you might not even want what the other people have, right? You might not want to be this ultra mega big celebrity like being, right? You might want to sit in the background, right? And live a normal life, which I think is crazy that we as a society have kind of hated, living normal, right? And there's so many people talk about like, oh, you need to get out there and be the best, make millions of dollars and super succeed, which I think is crazy, right? Your goals don't have to be the biggest things in the world. They just have to be your goals, right? They could be as small as you want or as big as you want. I'm not going to limit your goals in any way in this video. And I just feel like people don't talk about that enough, right? It's like just achieving your goals is literally whatever they want to be. Your goals could be as big or small, as cool, creative, or as wacky and weird, right? Like I'm a big nerd and I like to do nerdy things, right? Whereas as a sports guy gonna want to do anything that I do? Probably not, right? Or very few things would overlap. So that doesn't mean that we don't each have our own goals and are trying to achieve things. It just means we are different people. And I think a lot of people have failed to back away from that and realizing that you don't have to follow the trends and achieve what everyone else is achieving and make everyone else look at what you're doing, right? You got to just do you, right? And that's kind of what this whole YouTube channel is. And right, I just want to not just really become a big creator or anything like that. I just want people to talk to and, speak my mind to, right? I feel like I've just been too socially awkward and unwilling to talk to people in my life that I've just kind of shelled all my opinions and ideas away. And it just feels that I'm trapped. So I made this channel to kind of force myself to express myself and my opinions on different topics and things. And sure, I could be wrong in your eyes, and that's the whole point. It's like I want criticism. I want to be maybe made a fool of, right, and like told that I'm wrong, right, and to be able to improve myself socially and like my skills of talking to other people and improving myself, right. Like that is my whole goal and what I want to do in life. And it's not that easy to just do, right. You can't just wake up and do that, right? It takes time. It's over a period of time, and like that's the hardest thing with achieving any goal you want, right? Like achieving a goal takes discipline, right? You have to be able to do it over a period of time, right? Because it's easy to go to the gym once, right? Like it's easy to literally say, "I'm gonna go to the gym today." You go, you hit the gym, you do a nice, good, let's say a good few hour workout session, right? You hit the core spots you wanted to hit, and then you move on and you go throughout your rest of your day, or you did at the end of your day, so you're done with it, right? And that's how it ends, right? That's very well possible, and what a lot of people do. But I think a lot of people fail to realize that, like, that like that's just not that's like the easy, like if that's so easy, why can't you just do it again, right? And I know that's like a lot of people say like, oh yeah, it's or easier said than done to just do it again. But like the other thing is you might be making your goals way too high, right? You might be setting your goals way too far, right? And that's what a lot of us I think do when we have these goals and ambition things we want to do. It's like you think of the end goal, the end all beauty, like I want to be super jacked, or I want to be a rich billionaire, or I want to be this, I want to be that, right? You think of like the end all be all, right? The best of the best, the perfect version of yourself, which is fine. But I think we all fail to realize to achieve our goals, we need to step back to reality a bit, right? And actually think about what we want, and like think of it in a more realistic way, right? Like for example, like I look at this YouTube channel a video at a time, right? I don't look at it as like, oh, I need to hit this certain amount of views, or oh, I need to hit this quota. It's just no, I need to make this video, right? Like I just need to make that video, upload it, and continue on, right? That is how I do. I go video by video. I don't go by the bigger picture, right? And that's just how I've felt the way to go about it, right? Is looking at it one step at a time instead of one big picture, right? So many of us think of it as the big picture, or don't even think of it as a goal picture at all, or have a plan at all. Like I think a lot of us just have this idea of what we want, and then we go for it, right? And I also think that's another thing. Like some of us don't even maybe want some of the goals we have because of social media and things, and because of how everyone is pushing us to do all these things and actually undermining what we actually want, right? We don't actually want the things that we want, and we just want it because everyone else has it, or that's what society is telling us that we should have, right? And I think that's another thing that's like really bad and like destroying a lot of us and crushing your dreams, right? Like your childhood self probably has the most genuine dreams you ever had, right? Because you weren't influenced by others, right? Society didn't influence you in any way because you didn't really understand how society worked and how other people thought and stuff, right? You just kind of did your own thing and you were more genuine with yourself. So I wonder if those goals are still related to now, right? Do you really still like believe in those goals that you once had as a younger self? Like, did you want to, be a creator? Like, you want to be a YouTube creator actually, or are you just doing it because that's just a facade and that's what everyone tells you is the dream job? Or do you want to, be that super ripped guy and be a gym bro? Or does that just what everyone tells you is like the dream physical physique, right? Like, I feel like so many of us, our dreams are crushed because they aren't even our dreams to begin with, right? They're someone else's dream. We're just trying to facilitate to fit into society. And I think that a lot of you that have big dreams and ambitions need to step back a bit and realize that, right? You need to realize that, like, oh, my dream isn't actually this. My goals or whatever is this. And another thing is, and I made another video before talking about how it's okay to be called names and okay to be laughed at because those people are just losers anyways, and they're just trying to hate on you and like put you down, right? They don't want you to be your best self, so they're gonna talk bad about you and say that whatever you're doing is weird or wacky and like blame you. And I think that that also applies to your big dream, right? A lot of us have dreams and have hobbies and interests and things like that, and they're crushed by what society thinks, right? And what our social groups think of them, right? Like we do something and like people make fun of it or call it weird or whatever, that can influence you to stop doing that thing, right? I know so many people have done something, got made fun of or clowned on for it, and then just need to throw that thing away or stop doing that thing and do something completely different to fit their group or whatever. And I just think that that's just such a bad way to look at it. If you enjoy something and are liking it and doing it, and it's not like something like something like criminally, I think you should totally continue to do that, right? Yeah, right. Like you should totally continue to do the thing that you like to do or you're wanting to do and achieve, right? Like so many of us are need to just be told that, right? Like I wish I knew that when I was way younger, right? Because I was a big fan of like anime and video games and stuff, and my friends loved video games too, but they didn't like the anime part as much, and they thought all the shows and things I watched were weird and cringe. And so anytime I would ever make my profile picture or like wallpaper or anything related to that, they would see it, they would like make fun of me for it, or call it weird, or call it cringe. And so I would get really flamed and feel really bad about myself, right? Feeling like I was the problem. I was like, what I'm doing is wrong, right? Like my friends say, like, you shouldn't do this thing. Like, really, should I not be doing this thing? It's like I was like crushing my own hobbies and interests because of what others were telling me. And some of those friends don't talk to anymore. I literally just cut them out of my life because I knew that like even though we were younger and like middle school and high school, like I like at the time it just felt really mean. But some of those kids I just know are just still the same way these days, right? I don't talk to them anymore. But when I last did, I just knew they just weren't changing at all, right? They weren't changing. So I learned to accept what I like and just only criticizing me, right, and using me as like a target to fuel themselves. Because another thing I will say is some people that do these kind of things are in a rough spot, and I feel bad for them. And I kind of just learned to nowadays accept when they take them. Like when someone says something mean to me, I accept that most likely they are living and not having a great time in their life, or something bad's happening to them. So they're trying to relieve themselves by putting something out to them. And they shouldn't be doing this, but I don't fully blame them entirely, because I know that they probably have other issues that they're dealing with and just trying to cope with them in a way. And this is their coping mechanism. So I just, kind of say, like, if someone's being mean to me in a game or like anything or like a group or something, I'll just tell them, hey man, I don't like what you're doing. I'm going to just stop interacting with them if it's too bad, or tell them, hey, you need to change, or I'm out, right? And like to literally just be face value at them, right? I'm not afraid anymore to say what I like and say what I do. And if someone else doesn't like that or do that, I'm just gonna be upfront about it, right? If you don't like what I like and you're gonna like just hate me for it, I'm just not gonna interact with you. Or like if you don't want to see me succeed for whatever weird like self egotistical reasons, gaining goals, like I'm just gonna not interact or talk to you, right? I'm gonna keep that shit away. Because that's just how I function nowadays, and that's just how I've learned to do, is like to achieve what I want and to be the person I want to be in my future. I have to learn to, I think you have to learn to keep your connections tight, and to also, learn to let go of connections easier, right? A lot of us are afraid to let go of our connections because they are from childhood, right? Like we've known these people for all of our lives. It feels hard to just let go of them. But I think sometimes you just have to, right? Like I have one friend before who got really down in his life, a really dark place. And I realized, because I've talked to him and a lot of his friends, right? And all of his friends were the issue, right? A lot of his friends were the big problem, right? All of them were like total losers. They didn't really like what he was liking. They didn't really want him to succeed. They weren't really exceeding themselves, and they were just pulling him down. And he wanted to achieve and be this such better person, but he failed to realize that his friends, because he was with them this whole life, and he just thought this is the social norm, that was what life was like, but they were really pulling him down and things. And I just told him, like, hey, if you really want to achieve what you got to achieve, I know it's hard and it's not easy said to done to leave the people you've been with your entire life, but you just have to, learn to let go, right? People come and go in your lives, and some of them might stay longer than others, and it might be hard to let go of some of them, but sometimes you just have to, right? And even like relationships, right? Some people have very toxic relationships that they try to put another bandage on top of it, right? Put another piece of tape, right? It's just this big pile of like jumbo mess, right? It's like that. It's like when you break something at your house, like the back of the TV remote breaks. So you put like a piece of tape on it, but that piece of tape starts getting loose, and then that falls off. So then you put a different kind of piece of tape on it, or then you glue it this time, right? And like you just put all these different weird bandages and so kinds of solutions to keep the back of the remote on the remote. But like it's gonna eventually fall off and keep breaking it again and again. And you're not actually solving the issue by just buying a new remote. You're just trying to keep which is partially working to keep it going until it eventually breaks fully and is unusable anymore, right? And I think that's just kind of like how a lot of people's relationships and things go, and right, and how a lot of ties and things are just you go until the camel's back finally snaps. And sometimes I think that's you're just there for way too long, right? You just have to sometimes just let it go, let it all go, just end it. Not like end it all, but like just end the connection, end the bond, and just move on, move to the next step. And that's like to go back to the goal thing, because that was kind of the main idea of this video, is that like your actual goals and ambitions, to achieve them, they're not as hard to achieve as you think they are, right? Some of us think that our goals are impossible to achieve, and are these like literal like they're like daunting, right? And they can seem daunting because, like I said earlier in the video, they're just you set them too high, right? If you literally set your goal to I'm going to do 1 rep a day, right? Like now don't literally do 1 rep a day, but like the idea of setting it like lower, like something as low as that, makes it so much easier sounding than to say, oh, I'm gonna go do a 8-hour workout today. Like an 8-hour workout is an intense, long, inducing workout. It might be too much for you, honestly, but like that's like the quick path to get the good bod. And I think that's another thing, we want stuff way too quickly, right? Like for an example that I can think of what I want quickly is like I I own Amazon Prime, right? And the only reason I own Amazon Prime is not because I necessarily use Amazon often or not. I hate waiting for packages. Waiting for packages, it just takes forever for a package to come to my house, and I hate waiting for that package. I want the package as soon as possible. So I literally bought Amazon Prime so that, the 3 packages I buy within like a 6 month period can come in only 2 days instead of like a week or two, right? Like I just literally hate the idea of waiting for it, and I'm just get really impatient. And I think that that's like a part of the thing that we need to realize with our goals, right? We need to not like try to fast track it and try to like overwork ourselves to the point where we don't want to actually do it anymore, where we're just grinding and grinding and posting and like pushing ourselves to the actual brink of exhaustion, to where like I don't want to do this anymore. This goal sucks, right? I'm like literally burning myself out way too quickly by just pushing just so that I can achieve this quote unquote goal, rather than actually achieving any of my goals, right? And I think that we need to like step back and like enjoy the beauty of the process. Like I know a lot of people say that and things, and I mean it's really true, right? You need to just enjoy the ride, right? Like the ride could be very long. It could be years until your goal is actually achieved, depending on what your goal is. But if you enjoy the process every day, right? Like even if you like, let's even say, for example, let's say the halfway mark of your goal, right? Let's say you don't actually reach the full goal you want. Like let's say like 1 million subscribers is a good example, right? Hitting 1 million subscribers on YouTube is a huge big goal that people want to achieve. A lot of people want to achieve, right? But if you hit half of that, 500k subs, is that bad? Did you really not like? Oh, you didn't hit your goal of 1 million subscribers, but like you still have a ginormous following. You still have this most likely as your career, and you're still making good money from it, and you're still enjoying your fandom and things. Like I don't see why that would be bad at all, right? And so I think that's the thing with a lot of your goals. Like you could even do. It's like looking at the like, and that's another thing. Like looking at how much only this percent of the goal actually is for you, right? Like a 25% of the goal, even, right? Like that would be like 250k subscribers, right? Like you still got the silver play button, and you're only a quarter of the way to your goal. And guess what? You still got your, you still got a reward for that, right? YouTube rewarded you for something when you didn't even hit, the biggest goal. And even if you look at like 1% of your goal, right, that would be what, like 1,000 subs at that point? It'd be a way smaller number. But even then, like looking at that, like, right, like that's when about around the point I think when you could start earning money from the thing. And like even though it's such a small percentage to your actual total goal, you're still actually achieving something and earning something from that. And I think that's the beauty of it. You need to see the little gains you gain, right? You're not like the biggest thing, you fully have achieved your goal, but like the small little steps and the little like dopamine hits you get from that, I think is what can push you to fully achieve your end all be all actual goals in life, right? Like that's is what you need. You need the little bits, and look at like the small, bits and pieces and rewards. And as always, guys, I think that's about where I'm going to end it. And I got 22 and 38. Not that good. You know me, I'm not really good at this game. I just play it for fun in the background as we talk. And by the way, this was live. But that's enough talking from me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.